Congressman and member of the House Armed Services, Homeland Security, and China Select Committees, Carlos Gimenez. Congressman, good morning to you. The big question for you is President Biden announcing another $500 million in aid. Also, he's going to be long-range weapons are on the table. We're $30 billion already in commitments to Ukraine. At what point do we stop supporting the financial assistance to Ukraine? Is that something that you've had in conversations with your fellow Republicans in the House?
Yeah, we have. But look, at this point, we're involved in Ukraine, and we can't let Putin win this battle, because if he does, the Chinese are also looking at our resolve and the resolve of the Western world in combating aggression. And so, look, everybody knows that they have their eyes on Taiwan. And so, again, this is something that, as a member of the Armed Services Committee, I think we're pretty much unanimous in the fact that we're going to continue to help Ukraine in their effort against Vladimir Putin.
We got a statement from the White House a short time ago, and in the statement, the president said he's going to announce another delivery of equipment, artillery ammunition, anti-armor systems, air surveillance radars, as well as they're going to be doing some new sanctions. Kara, who's on set with me, is going to jump in a moment here, but she made an earlier point I thought was great, that what point do we start to weaken our own military by giving arms and giving supplies? We're talking now tanks, maybe F-16s to the Ukrainians. Does that weaken our military?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It decreases our stockpiles of these weapons that we have for our own defense. And so, again, at the Armed Services Committee, which I'm a part of, we've been talking about that and the need for us to ramp up our defense capabilities and production of these arms that we're giving to Ukraine. You know, a lot of people think that we're just handing over cash. We're not. We're handing over weapon stockpiles that we have here in the United States to help them in their effort against Russia. We need to restock our supplies. And so, yeah, there's validity to that argument. We need to start our supply chain, and a lot of these weapons haven't been produced for a while. We need to get that going back in the United States.
Okay, here's Kara.
Hi, sir. Thanks for your time. I'm wondering about the long game here. When it comes to exactly, you know, we're giving aid, but, you know, when we were in Afghanistan, we had this saying where the U.S. has all the watches, but the Taliban has all the time. Ukraine doesn't have all the time. Russia might be have advantageous timing here, but what is the long game? What are we looking for? As Mike said, what does victory look like for us?
Victory looks like when there's some kind of a peace settlement between Ukraine and Russia, when the Russians have finally figured out that they can't defeat Ukraine. And so that's the long game. You know, the problem that we've had a lot is that we don't look at the long game. Again, when you look at this, you have to look at what China is looking at. Do we have the resolve to help you know, a country that needs our help? And do the Western powers have that same resolve? And so for the time being, yeah, we do have that resolve. We will continue to supply these arms to Ukraine because, again, as I said before, you have to see what the heck this is really all about. This is about our resolve and then China's eye on Taiwan. And so, look, I think we need to continue to help Ukraine, continue to give them the arms that they need. We need to restock our own supplies and our own arms here in the United States, not only to help Ukraine, but also an eventual issue or confrontation with China over in Taiwan.
Okay, and fair points to all of that. So 2 questions here. First off, reported over the weekend that China is possibly considering giving lethal aid, quote, lethal aid, to support Russia in its war in Ukraine. I want to get your reaction to that. And then also these you know, unidentified objects that were shot down. I mean, we just announced that we're going to call off the search for 2 of those objects that were shot down over Alaska and Lake Huron. And so we may never get those devices. We may never get the information out of them. And then you've got Secretary of State Blinken. He met with Wang Yi in Munich at that international security conference. He says there was no apology from China about the spy flight. Listen to this.
What I can also tell you is this was an opportunity to speak